Okay, let's move on to today's daily sales vitamin. This is the 5-step phone system, step 3, the reason step. So, you've now learned the opening and the disarming. You're going into step 3, the reason step. You should be mastering the I understand, this is so and so calling, if you recall, or I understand, and then do have a quick minute. 3 yeses. We're moving on to our 4th. Now, there's a couple different things that can happen here depending on the objective of your call. If you are calling to schedule an appointment, then you have that core objective. However, some of you are calling to do follow-up calls, you're working on leads. So instead of calling to schedule an appointment, the goal of the call is to get permission to ask questions and then schedule an appointment. So it really depends on where you are with each lead within the sales cycle. But here's your parameters. The reason step always starts with the reason I'm calling is because. So the reason I'm calling is because, and then you're going to state why you're calling, which changes with each person, and it's going to end with one of two things. Either permission to ask questions or an optional close of, so what might work better for you? Are you available tomorrow, or would even perhaps this afternoon work for you? So depending on what you're doing, that's the parameter. So if I'm calling a lead and it's someone I've visited with in the last week, I'm trying to get them back in for an event to experience our community so they can better understand it, then I'm going to say, well, the reason I'm calling is I know that you were here last week for an on-site visit and you really were able to get familiar with our community. But the reason I'm calling today is there's a couple great events going on, and I thought of you. It's a great opportunity for you to really experience our community, better engage with residents, and get a feel for what it's really like here. The first thing is we're having a golf outing on Saturday. It's a charity. It's raising money for the March of Dimes, and I know you love to golf. And the other thing I was thinking about, just very simple, is it's movie night on Friday night. And I wondered which one of those you might like to learn more about. Now, I'm kind of keeping this very concise, but really it should be to the point. And then they'll say either, wow, tell me more about your golf outing, or that's very nice of you, but I'm really not interested. Again, I'm just looking. I don't really think I need to come back. I got everything I need in this brochure and from meeting you. And when they object, which is what that was, you're going to say, and I'm going to teach you this on the next podcast, they're going to say, or you will say, I understand. Well, since I have you on the phone, could I just ask you a quick question? Where you'll get your 5th yes. So let's talk about the other scenario. So that's to book an appointment. Very simple. So on this postcard or note card, you're going to write your opening, which is, and I don't want to confuse you with that, the beginning of the statement is, the reason I'm calling is because ... And then it's going to end with either an optional close or permission to ask questions. So if I'm calling and I'm using my follow-up to a visit connection sheet, which many of you are not using within 48 hours of the on-site visit, and you need to start today, we have these tools for a reason. If you want to be a top seller and command the income through the bonus structure and be someone really wants to keep and have because you fill buildings, you need to use this system. So the end then is your optional close or permission to ask questions. So you then are using the follow-up to a visit connection sheet number 1 or 2, or your established relationship or old lead connection sheet. That's the same sheet. It's just we have 2 different titles because people sometimes old lead just makes more sense to them. We personally don't like it. We like established relationship. So here's that one. The reason I'm calling is I know it's been some time since you've communicated with anyone here at the Willows, and I wondered if I could just ask you a few quick questions. And they will say yes. The reason I know they'll say yes is because I've researched it. We've listened to hundreds and hundreds of sales calls that have been recorded, and statistically, you've already received 3 yeses. They're in the habit of saying yes. This is going to be your 4th yes. So you're going to get this next yes and go right into your connection sheet. Now, little cheat information, the reason step and the close are right there on your connection sheets. The only thing you're missing on those is the opening and the disarming. Now, if you're calling referral sources, it's the whole same process. You're going to open, you're going to disarm, and then you're typically going to use your referral source connection sheet if you are trying to qualify a referral source. And then you ask the questions and book an appointment, or you're just trying to schedule time to come in. So you might say, ring, ring, hello, is Marianne, this is she. Hi, Mary, it's Tracy Bild calling. Who? Tracy Bild? Yes? I understand that you are a caseworker at Mercy Memorial. Yes, I am. What's this about? Would you have just a quick minute? Sure. Well, the reason I'm calling is I'm actually with the residents on 5th. We're an assisted living community here in the Blink area, and we actually work with a number of other case managers in your hospital and actually all of the hospitals here in the local area. And I simply wondered if I could ask you a few quick questions about your referral process. Or I could have, if I know her, then if I know her, I can tone this whole thing down. I don't have to say, I understand it if you recall. Remember, it's a recipe, it's a system, so it's flexible. I could say, hey, Mary, it's Tracy Bild calling. She'll say, hi, Tracy, how are you? I'm fantastic. Do you have a quick minute? Sure. Well, the reason I'm calling is I'm kind of scheduling out my week, and I wanted to see what might work better for me just to drop in real quick with you. Are mornings or afternoons going to be best for you this week? Mornings. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to be out on Thursday and Friday. I wondered which of those might work better. How about Friday? Fantastic. So are you thinking would 8:30ish work? Which of those is a little bit better for you? 8. Fantastic. I'll see you at 8 on Friday. Boom. Done. Fast calls, to the point, structured, focused, prepared calls. Utilizing psychology and proven systems, you will be more successful than you can ever imagine using these very simple, yet I don't want to confuse you. When you begin to utilize these, you're changing a lot of habits. You're going from talking to listening, engaging, and that is a little bit intimidating. Practice makes perfect. Put this reason step on an index card and come back to the next podcast for step number 4, the checkmate question.